I had just finished wiping down the hood of my truck when I heard her car pull into the driveway. It was a Friday evening, hot and still, with that heavy August air that sticks to your skin. I tossed the rag onto the toolbox and turned, expecting the usual half smile and tired eyes. But she didn't look at me, not once. She stepped out, keys clutched too tight in one hand, purse slung over her shoulder like she was ready to run back out again. Her mouth was tight and she moved fast, straight into the house like something was chasing her. I followed her in, wiping my hands on my jeans. "Everything okay?" She didn't answer right away, just dropped her purse on the counter and leaned both hands on the edge like she was trying to steady herself. "We need to talk." Those 4 words slammed into my chest. I could already feel it, that tone, that distance in her eyes. My gut twisted hard. I nodded once, slowly. "All right, talk." She turned around but wouldn't meet my eyes. I need 30 days, a break. I'm not saying it's over, but I need space. Time to figure things out. I blinked. "You're serious?" "I am." I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. I kept my voice low, steady. "So you're just leaving? 30 days? Just like that?" "It's not like that," she said quickly. "I'm not leaving forever. I just need to step back. From us. From everything." My hands were clenched before I even noticed. I stepped closer. "Is there someone else?" She flinched. "Number?" "It's not about that." "It sounds like it's about that." She finally looked up, eyes wide, almost insulted. "It's not, I swear. This is about me. I feel lost, and I need time to think." Think, that word always meant trouble. I stared at her for a few seconds, searching her face for anything real, but all I saw was a wall going up. Quick note, before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. "Fine," I said. "Take your 30 days. But don't expect things to look the same when you come back." She didn't respond, just walked past me, quiet as a ghost, and disappeared into the bedroom. I stood there in the kitchen, grease still on my hands, feeling like a piece of furniture in my own house. She'd already made up her mind, and now everything had changed. She didn't say much as she rolled the suitcase down the hallway. It clicked softly over the hardwood, the kind of sound that would have meant a trip before. Vacation, family visits, something normal. But this wasn't that. She stopped by the front door and looked back like she was expecting me to say something. I didn't. "I'll stay in touch," she said, soft but flat, like a recorded message. I opened the door. "Yeah, sure." She hesitated, gave me a quick nod, then walked out. The door clicked shut behind her, and just like that, the house was still. I didn't move for a while. I just stood there staring at the door, like maybe it'd swing back open and she'd say it was all some mistake, but it didn't. I ended up on the couch with the TV on, no volume. I don't even remember what was playing. Probably some game rerun. I sat there for hours, not thinking, not even blinking much, just breathing and not knowing what the hell to do with the silence. Around midnight, I finally shut the TV off. The house groaned as I walked through it, every creak louder than I remembered. I looked in the bedroom. Half the closet was empty, just hangers swinging a little. Her side of the dresser was open, top drawer cleared. In the bathroom, her toothbrush was gone. Hairbrush, gone. One towel missing from the rack. I leaned on the sink, staring at my own face in the mirror like it was someone I didn't recognize. The next morning, I went to work like a robot. No one said anything. I must have looked the same, acted the same. But inside, I was playing her words over and over like a song stuck in my head. I need time to figure things out. What the hell did that even mean? At lunch, I drove home. I couldn't stand pretending anymore. I just wanted to be alone in my own place, even if it felt like she'd taken the soul of it with her. That's when I saw the notebook. It was sitting on the edge of the nightstand on her side of the bed. Plain black cover, no title. I almost left it alone, but something about the way it was positioned, like it was meant to be found, pulled me in. I sat down and flipped it open. Page after page, there were affirmations. I am strong. I deserve clarity. I don't need permission to grow. Each one written out like a ritual. Some had dates next to them, circled or underlined. Others had quotes from books or podcasts scribbled in the margins. But the last page stopped me cold. It was written in her smaller handwriting, like she'd been trying to keep it neat. September is for me. No guilt, No waiting. This month I become who I'm meant to be. No mention of me, no we, no us. Just her. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about space or needing time. This was a plan, a clean slate. She was rewriting her life, and I was already filed under before. I shut the journal, dropped it back on the nightstand, and sat there, hands on my knees. She didn't just leave the house, she left the version of herself that included me. I didn't touch the journal again after that night, left it sitting there like a warning label. A few days passed. I went to work, hit the grocery store, ran the same damn errands, kept the lights off in rooms I didn't need, didn't sleep much. I wasn't eating either, but I kept my mouth shut about it. Then one night, I'm lying in bed, just scrolling through my phone like a zombie, and there it was. My buddy Drew had tagged a group photo at some bar downtown. One of those rooftop spots with string lights and overpriced drinks. He's not even close with her, just a guy from the wider circle we used to hang with. I clicked on the picture, and there she was. Far right side, mid-laugh, hair down, drink in hand. She looked good, relaxed, free. But that's not what hit me. What hit me was the hand. There was a guy standing behind her, arms slung across the back of her bar stool, and his hand was resting right on her waist. Not casual, not friendly, familiar. I sat up straight in bed, screen lighting up the room, zoomed in, stared hard. She wasn't leaning away. She wasn't moving his hand. She was grinning like she was right where she wanted to be. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't yell. I just sat there, cold, like the air had dropped 20 degrees. I didn't message her, not yet. But my stomach turned, and that pit of doubt that I'd been trying to bury came roaring back. This wasn't space. This was replacement. I tapped through the post, checked who was tagged. Her friend Rachel had posted it. I clicked Rachel's profile, went to her stories. The first two were selfies. The third one stopped me. It was a short video, maybe 10 seconds. Music blasting, everyone swaying around a high table. And there she was again, dancing next to that same guy. Only this time, she was facing him. He said something in her ear, and she laughed, touching his chest lightly, like she was trying to flirt without looking obvious. I knew that look. I'd seen it before. Hell, I used to be the guy getting it. I watched the video 3 more times just to make sure I wasn't twisting it in my head. I wasn't. She wasn't rediscovering herself. She was shopping, auditioning, seeing what else was out there while I sat at home trying not to fall apart. I locked my phone and stared at the ceiling. This wasn't curiosity anymore. It was betrayal, but I still didn't text her, still didn't call. Let her think I hadn't seen it. Let her play whatever game she thought she was in control of. I got out of bed and started making a list in my head. Not of what she'd done, but what I was going to do next. Because if she wanted to start her life over, fine. But I sure as hell wasn't going to stand still while she did it. The next morning, I was eating cereal straight from the box at the kitchen counter when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, just a first name in the message. Cassie from yoga. Sorry to reach out like this. Thought you should see this. Then a screenshot followed. I didn't recognize the app, but I knew exactly who I was looking at. It was her, different name. Samantha. But the face was hers. Same hair, same smile. She'd even used that professional headshot she got done for work last year. Her bio was short. Recently separated. Exploring new beginnings. Passionate about growth, connection, and being fully seen. Fully seen. I stared at the screen like it was a joke. Some fake profile, maybe. But deep down, I knew better. There was no mistaking it. That photo hadn't just been pulled from a random gallery. She'd picked it on purpose. Cassie sent another text. Didn't want to get in the middle, just thought you should know. She mentioned the separation in class, but this kind of rubbed me wrong. I didn't reply. What was I supposed to say? Thanks for confirming my wife's bullshot? Instead, I opened the App Store and downloaded the same dating app, created a burner account, plugged in the filters. Didn't take long. There she was. Live profile, same photo, same name, same stupid bio about new beginnings and growth, like she was on a retreat instead of blowing up our marriage. I clicked through the rest of the profile. 5 pictures. 2 were from that same rooftop bar. Same outfit from the photo I saw the night before, like she'd been planning this for weeks. The captions were worse. Love Sunday hikes. Looking for someone who listens more than they talk. Learning to trust my instincts. Trust her instincts. She didn't need space. She needed options. I closed the app and dropped my phone on the table. There was no point pretending anymore. She wasn't wandering through some emotional fog, trying to find herself. She was running full speed towards something new, and leaving me to rot behind her. I looked around the house. Everything still looked the same. Her throw pillows still on the couch, the plant she always forgot to water still drooping in the window. But I saw it all differently now. She'd left more than her stuff. She'd left the shell of a life she didn't want anymore. And I'd been standing in the middle of it, hoping she'd change her mind. I stood up, grabbed the empty cereal box, and tossed it hard into the trash. That was the last morning I waited. No more checking my phone hoping for a hey or wondering if she missed me. No more looking at old photos or flipping through her journal like some kind of lost puppy. She wasn't coming back. And even if she did, I didn't want what she'd turned into. That day, I made a promise. Not out loud, not dramatic, just quiet and solid. I'd stop trying to fix what she broke. I'd start fixing myself. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror and slid the ring off my finger. No big speech, no dramatic music, just metal meeting porcelain. It left a faint tan line where it used to sit, like the skin itself hadn't caught up yet. I stared at my hand for a long second. Then, I put the ring in the back of the junk drawer, under an old pair of sunglasses and a dead pen. That was the start. A full week passed. No calls, no texts, not even a just checking in. And you know what? It felt good, like breathing room I didn't realize I needed. The tension in the house had lifted, and the silence didn't scare me anymore. So, I got to work. The gym was the first move, not for revenge, not for selfies or some stupid comeback post. I just needed to feel something again. Sweat, soreness, the kind of pain that meant progress. I went every morning before work, headphones in, hoodie up, no small talk. I wasn't there to socialize. I was there to rebuild the pieces of me she'd chipped away at for years. Then I tackled the house, started in the bedroom, grabbed a couple boxes and filled them with everything that was hers. Jewelry she left behind, shoes, some folded up sweaters still holding her perfume. I didn't sniff anything. I didn't hold anything long, just packed and sealed. Next was the bathroom. Every little thing, face masks, oils, that rose-scented crap she liked to leave on the counter, into a bin. I boxed it all up, labeled it with her name, and shoved it into the back corner of the hall closet, out of sight, out of my way. I stood there afterward, looking at the open space like I'd just reclaimed some forgotten territory. It felt clean, not just the room, me. I didn't stop there. I didn't. I opened my closet and dumped half of it. Old shirts she'd picked out, sweaters she said looked more mature, pants I never liked but wore to avoid a conversation. Gone. I drove to the outlet mall that weekend and bought stuff I actually liked. Dark jeans, plain tees, boots that felt solid when I walked. Nothing flashy, just mine. I started walking different after that. Little things, standing straighter, looking people in the eye, nodding to strangers again. Then, I reached out to people I hadn't seen in years. Kyle from high school, Dorian, my old fishing buddy. Even Troy, who she never liked because he talked too loud and drank too much. They were all happy to hear from me. "You alive, man?" Kyle said when I called. "Haven't seen you in years." "Yeah," I said. "I'm back." We hit a bar that weekend. Laughed harder than I had in months. Nothing wild, just good energy, real talk. The kind of night that reminds you you're not dead inside. On the drive home, windows down, I caught my reflection in the side mirror, and for the first time in a long damn time, I didn't look like someone waiting to be chosen. I looked like someone who already had. The next few weeks felt like someone cracked a window in my life and let the air back in. I kept saying yes to invites, dinners, rooftop spots, whiskey tastings, even hit a Sunday brunch, which used to be her thing. I was out more than I'd been in the last 5 years, and not in some forced look-at-me way. It felt real, like I'd stepped back into the life I put on hold the moment I started trying to make her happy. One night, we were at this rooftop lounge downtown. Warm night, skyline behind us, music just loud enough to drown out the dumb thoughts. I was leaning on the railing, sipping bourbon, when this woman walked up. Tall, confident, eyes that locked right onto mine. "You here with someone?" she asked, just like that. I glanced back at my friends, then back at her. I opened my mouth to say something, and nothing came out for a second, not because I didn't know, but because it hit me how long I'd been caught between answers. Finally I said, "Yeah, Just some buddies. I paused. Single. She smiled. Good to know. Then she walked away, just as quick as she came, disappearing into the crowd like she'd just been passing through. But the moment stuck. Not because I wanted anything from her, but because for the first time, I wasn't waiting to explain myself. I wasn't attached to anyone's timeline or approval. I said single, and I meant it. A few days later, she started texting. At first, it was harmless. Hey, how's your week been? Saw something that reminded me of you. Hope everything's going okay. I didn't answer any of them, not out of spite. I just didn't owe her anything anymore. Then the messages got slightly longer. I know things have been weird, but I do think about you. Hope you're doing all right. I read them once, maybe twice, and put the phone down. The version of me she expected, the guy who used to drop everything the second she reached out, he wasn't here anymore, and maybe that's what got under her skin, because the texts kept coming. Same soft tone, same just checking in energy, like she wanted to plant a flag in my head again without doing any of the work. But I was too far gone for that. I was out at a backyard cookout when her name popped up on my screen again. My phone buzzed on the picnic table next to a cold beer. I looked at it, didn't even bother opening the message. I just flipped the phone over and kept talking with my buddies. Whatever she was trying to do, I wasn't biting. She'd made her choices. I was making mine. And this version of me, the one laughing, moving, living, didn't need her approval to exist. I was standing in line at the coffee shop, just waiting on my black drip, when my phone buzzed again. Her name lit up the screen. No text this time, just an image. I opened it. It was a photo from 2 summers ago, that trip we took to Lake Tahoe. We were on the dock, sun behind us, both smiling like we actually had something worth holding on to. My arm was around her, and she had that look, like she trusted where we were going. Under the photo, she wrote, "We were really happy that day. I miss that." That was it. No question. No follow-up. Just a weak stab at nostalgia. I stared at it for maybe 10 seconds, then locked my phone. Whatever reaction she was fishing for, guilt, regret, some invitation to rehash the past, she wasn't getting it. Because I remembered that day too. I remembered how she spent half the trip scrolling her phone. I remembered the fight we had the night before, over nothing. Just her usual cold distance and me trying to make it okay. I remembered how forced that smile was, how we only took the damn photo because some older couple offered, and I didn't want to be rude. There was no magic in that day, just effort, and most of it came from me. Back home that night, I pulled out my own journal. I hadn't written anything in weeks, but I flipped through the pages anyway. Some entries were raw, stuff I barely remembered writing. Others felt like they were written by a guy who was still begging for scraps. But what hit me hardest was the shift. Somewhere in the last month, my words stopped circling her. They started circling me. I wasn't writing about what I'd lost anymore. I was writing about what I was building. The gym. The late nights with friends, the new clothes, the dinners, the freedom. She wasn't the center anymore. She was a ghost orbiting the edge. Later that week, Cassie messaged me again. "Hey, just a heads up. She asked about you after class. Didn't say much, just wanted to know how you've been. If you're seeing anyone." I stared at the screen, half smirking. Not because I wanted her curious, but because I knew what that curiosity meant. She couldn't see me clearly anymore. She didn't know what version of me she'd find if she came back. And the fact that she was unsure, that was power I hadn't felt in years. I didn't reply to Cassie. I didn't need to. I closed my phone, leaned back on the couch, and let the quiet settle. That photo she sent, the trip she missed, that wasn't our happiness. That was just one of the better days in a relationship I kept alive while she quietly backed out of it. Now, she could have the memory, because I sure as hell didn't need it anymore. The message came in on a Thursday night. "Can we meet for coffee this weekend? I'd like to talk." No fluff, no emojis. Straight to the point, like she knew a text wouldn't cut it this time. I stared at the screen for a minute, then typed back one word. "Sure." We picked a cafe halfway between our places. Saturday morning, neutral ground, public enough to stay civil, private enough for whatever she was gearing up to say. I got there 5 minutes early, ordered black coffee, and grabbed a seat by the window. No nerves, just curiosity. I wanted to see how she'd walk in, how she'd act, what story she'd try to spin now. She showed up right on time. Hair done, light makeup. Not over the top, but definitely not thrown together either. She spotted me and gave a small wave before walking over. "Hey," she said, sliding into the chair across from me. I nodded. "Morning." There was a pause. She smiled tight, looked around like the silence made her itch. "This place is cute," she said. "I've passed it 100 times and never stopped in." I sipped my coffee, didn't answer. She cleared her throat. "So, I've been thinking. A lot, actually." I leaned back, let her talk. "I know this last month probably seemed sudden and messy," she said, eyes darting to the table. "But I needed space to understand what I want, who I am, and after all of that, I still think about you. I still care about what we had." She looked up, waiting for something, a reaction. I gave her nothing, just silence and one slow blink. She kept going. "I'm not saying we just jump back in like nothing happened. I know I hurt you. But I think, no, I believe, there's still something real between us. I'm ready to try again." She reached across the table, her fingers brushing the edge near my hand. I pulled my hand back. Then I spoke, calm, flat. "No anger. You think I've been sitting here waiting for that?" She blinked. "That's not what I don't miss you like you think I do," I said. "Not the way you've built it in your head." Her mouth opened, but I kept going. "I spent years trying to make you happy, bending myself into someone you could love. And every time I got close, you shifted the finish line. You wanted space, I gave it. You wanted time, I stepped back. You wanted 30 days to figure things out." I leaned forward slightly. "And you spent them auditioning for a new life." Her face froze. "I saw the profile," I said. "Samantha, recently separated, passionate about connection, all that self-love crap dressed up like honesty." She looked down, hands tightening in her lap. "I wasn't going to bring it up," I said. "But since you want to talk about trying again, let's at least put the truth on the table." She swallowed hard. I didn't mean for it to go that far." I shook my head. "It wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. 100 little ones that said exactly what I meant to you." She stayed quiet, staring at the wood grain on the table like it might save her. I stood up. "I'm not mad anymore," I said, "but I'm not yours anymore either." She looked up, eyes wide and glossy. "You don't get to come back just because the grass on the other side isn't what you thought it'd be." I slid my chair back in gently. "This, whatever this was, this is the closure you were too afraid to give me when you walked out that door." Then I turned and left. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. The morning after that cafe meeting, I packed up the last of her stuff. Jewelry box, yoga mat, scarves she never wore but insisted on keeping. A stack of books with bent spines and highlighted pages. Everything that still smelled like her, or worse, like who I used to be around her, went into one cardboard box. I taped it shut and slid it by the front door. Then I sent the text. "Your box is ready. Let me know when you want to pick it up. I won't be home." No punctuation, no smiley face, no open-ended invites. That day came and went. Nothing. Same with the next, and the next after that. I didn't wait. I went to the gym, got dinner with Dorian, took a long drive with the windows down, and music loud enough to drown out the memory of her voice. When her reply finally came, it was short. "Did you really mean that?" I read it once, then turned off notifications. There was nothing left to explain. People started checking in, friends mostly. A couple of hers. "You good? She seemed kind of off lately. Is there still a chance you guys work it out?" I told them all the same thing. "I'm fine." And I was, not jumping for joy, not running towards someone new, just fine, solid, clear. The house felt better with her gone. Even the silence was cleaner. I started filling the space again, bought a new lamp, replaced the rug she always hated, hung a photo of me and Troy out on the lake, grinning like idiots with beers in hand. I didn't check her socials, didn't wonder who she was texting or where she spent her nights. Whatever was going on in her world didn't belong in mine anymore. Then Cassie messaged one last time. "She's been asking around, said you've changed, she's unsettled, wanted to know if you're seeing anyone." I stared at the message for a long second, then locked my phone. No reply. I didn't need to explain who I was now. She gave up her seat in my life the day she walked out, and I wasn't saving it for her anymore.